まだ話してない人いっぱいいるんだな。
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to
一
be
緒に
working
働く
together.
ことになり
Dr.
ます。
Reed.
ストーリッ
Dr.
クランド
Swansea
医師。
informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare
あ、
to
この
believe
人
we'd
は
have
歓
such
迎し
good
てくれて
fortune.
る。
Such an honor, sir.
Thank you.
ありがとうございます。
And you
それ
are?
であなた
I am
は
Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland.
あなたのお仕
I'm a
事の
great
大ファン
admirer
で
of
す。
your work, Dr. Reed.
あらあら、ありがとうございます。君のことを聞かせてほしい。
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
実験について話を聞かせてほしい。
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
なぜこの道を志したのか。
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
この答え方重要なのかな。お役に立てれば光栄ですよ。研究は消耗する。お世辞は無用だ。まあ、お役に立てれば光栄ですよと言っとこうか。
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
はい。ペンブローク病について。
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
でもあなた
With
がい
your
らしたこ
arrival,
と
I
で、
can't think of a
鉄
better
に関
opportunity
して
to learn
学
about
ぶの
blood
にこれ以上
transfusion.
の機会はないと思います。何か手伝うことはあるかい？
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm
人
waiting
的
for a
な研
batch
究
of
のために
products I
注文
ordered
した
for my
品
personal
物が
research,
届くのを待って
yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give
I
me the address,
see.
for I may pass by if I have time.
地元の調査、新しいシチズンインベスティゲーションができるようになりました。なんとか押して地元の調査メニューを開きましょう。なんか、できることが増えたみたいね。市民の調査は地区ごとにここに表示されます。X とトラッキングで市民の調査を始められます。そして、Access to Your Map で探索する場所を特定しましょう。なんかあるんだ。これサブクエなのかな？何なんだろう。ソロストリックランド医師は進歩的な医学に魅了される若い大胆な医師だ。彼は現在独自の実験を行っているが、最近注文したいくつかの品物が届くのを待っているという。彼は近頃の物不足で、彼の取引業者が彼よりも高名な医師と取引することを選んだのではないかと疑っている。それが私の名声を利用して必要な物資を手に入れるよう彼が私に頼んだ理由だ。はあ。テルマ・ハウクロフトは自身をすでに死んでいるか死から蘇って朽ちていく体の中に囚われていると思い込んでいる。妄想的なペンブロック病院の患者である。彼女の明らかな精神上の問題にもかかわらず、 この女性はヴァンパイアである彼女を狩ろうとする数人の男たちに偵察されていると主張している。彼女はガード・オブ・プリウェイのことを言っているのだろうか。私は彼らに病院の周りを調べさせておくリスクを冒すわけにはいかない。彼らを偵察し、これらのハンターからテルマ・ハークロフトを守らなければならない。なんかどんどん並行してミッションが増えてってるけど、どうしたらいいんだろうな。はい、続きまして、ストリックランド医師。とても楽観的に見えるね。
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
笑えません。はい、じゃあこれがアンロックされたやつですね。アクロイドの最新医療嫌いについて。
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded.
彼の視野が狭いのは
Dr.
とても
Swansea
残
taught
念
me
です
that
よ。
science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so
どう
difficult
して
to
一緒に
work
働くの
together?
かそんな
I
に
believe
難
that
しいん
if
です。
Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just
単
a
に嫉
question
妬とプラ
of
イドの問
jealousy
題
or
だと。
pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
なんかギスギスしてんな。個人的な質問。君の輸血技術について。
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
フィディックさんの話を教えてください。
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us
怪
about the
我の
real
本当の原因
origin
を
of his
隠してい
injury.
たせいで正確
He
ではな
first
かっ
claimed it was an
た。
accident
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
ハーベイ・フィディック、新しいヒントを入手。中立を保たなければならない。
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
はい。はい。もう聞いたよね。これはないよね。はい。
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
どんどん新しい情報が入るな。アクロイドしか。
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
これがアンロックされてる。ストリックランドの研究に対する君の考え。
Tell me, Waverley, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
君の対抗心が目を曇らせている。なぜこの外科手術を主導したい？なぜこの外科手術を主導したい？
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be
未承認の治
butchered
療
to
提
test
供
an
を試験するため
unproven
に殺される
procedure.
べきではない。はあ。どうしよう。君の判断を信じるよ。それは保守的なものの見方だ。いずれ困ったことになるは、いずれ困ったことになるとこの下は否定してるし、君の判断を信じるよ肯定してるけど、わかんないことが多すぎて何とも言えないな。とりあえず肯定しとこうか。
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd.
私はあなたの判断を信頼していますよ。
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr.
そんなに
Reed.
上から目線で
There is
私
no
を見
need for you to
る
be looking over my shoulder.
必要はありませんよ。はあ、君の対抗心が目を曇らせている。
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
目がくらむことに不安はな
I
いんで
guess
す
you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
わかんないな。
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
ご機嫌取りしてない方がいいのかな。ずけずけ突っ込んでいった方がいいのかな。ハーベイ・フィディック、この人か。話してみましょう。
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody
絵を
arm
ま
fixed
とめ直
properly.
してもらいたいだけなんですよ。
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter,
はい。
and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the
インフル
flu.
エンザじ
I
ゃな
won't
く
lie to
て、
you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
医師たちがあなたの症例について言い争っていたんですか？
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for
この
me.
二
but
人
there's
は
a
分か
lot
れ
of
てるも
pride
んね。
there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
これもアンロックされてる。怪我に対してなぜ責任を感じているんですか？
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me.
家内は俺のせいで死ん
And
だ
now I
んで
may
す。
lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an
なんで
arsehole.
間抜けなんだ。ハーベイ・フィディック新しいヒント入手。奥さんがあなたのせいで亡くなった？
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself
あなたの怪
responsible
我の
for
責
your
任を抱
injury,
え込んで
Mr.
いけませ
Fiddick,
ん。
unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
奥さんの死について。
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target.
目標を間違えた。
My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
爆撃では多くの人が亡くなりました。
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have
目
no
にわ
idea.
かるのは
I just know that I'm all that me
自
kids
分の
have.
子供はあの子たちだけだってことです。
Poor little
かわいそう
bleeders.
に。お子さんは大丈夫ですか？
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Ellen didn't bring them with her that night.
子供たちは助かってる。
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
書きかけの手紙。ペンブロック病院12月2日、大切な子供たちへ手紙を書けなくてごめんよ。この紙に文字をいくつか書くだけでもものすごく痛いんだ。心配いらない。お父さんはお医者さんが腕を治してくれたらすぐに病院から出られるからね。その間困ったことがあったら現場にいるチャドウィックさんのところに行って、ハーベイ・フィディックの子供だって言うんだよ。ロバート・チャドウィックのこと覚えてるかい？口ひげの生えた大きなおじさんで、去年の春にお家のドアを直すのを手伝ってくれたね。彼に会いに行っていくらかのシリングをお願いするんだ。少しならきっと分けてくれるから。今働けなくてごめん。でも、病院を出たらすぐにちゃんとするから心配しなくていい。お父さんの腕がまた強くなったらすぐに全部良くなるからね。お父さんは。新しいヒント入手か。もう一回聞こうか、じゃあ。
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
ご家族が心配そうですね。
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to
こ
calm
う
the
して
children,
少し
Ellen.
ずつ分かることが増えてっ
What
て、
a blundering idiot.
はい、トーマス。
The pain.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face,
顔を直すためにここにいな
I
い。
don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
ここでの生活はどうですか？
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
手当てをしているのは誰ですか？
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Won't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
何かできることは？
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No
言
effect.
ったでしょ。
Told you. It's like
俺
the
の皮
flames
膚の
are
下で
under
燃
my
え続けて
skin,
る炎み
burning
たいなん
away.
だ。怪我の本当の原因は？
Why do you feel
なぜ
responsible
怪
for
我
the
に悲鳴
injury,
を感
Thomas?
じているんです
What
トーマ
really
ス。
happened?
本当は
I
何があったん
wasn't
です
disfigured by any German shells.
非番の時の出来事な
It
んですよ。
happened during my leave. It was an
事故
accident.
だったんです。本当は何が起こったんですか？
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore.
女を買って
In
ル
Rouen.
ーアに行って、ひどい酔っ払い
Dead
方を
drunk
し
I
てい
was.
て、ホテルは便所みたい
The
なとこ
hotel
ろ
was
で
a
した。
shithole.
そ
There
の
was
夜
a
火事
fire
が起
that
きたんで
night.
す。
Did you start the fire?
あなたが火をつけた
Were
ん
you
ですか？
trying to avoid going back to
前
the
線に
front?
戻るのは避ける
That's
と。
not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room.
あ
The
の
girl
バイタ
was
を
long
起こ
gone.
しもしないで
Bitch
燃える
never
ままに
woke
し
me
やがっ
up.
たんですよ。
Left me to burn.
なぜ嘘を？
Why lie about it?
Come on.
勘弁してくださいよ。
It's one
ドイ
thing
ツ軍
to
に負
come
傷
back
させられて帰って
disfigured
く
by
る
the
のも誰にで
Germans.
も起きる事故で
And
怪
it's
我をす
another
る。
to get injured in an accident that could have
のとで
happened
は
to
全然違
anybody.
うでしょ。なんかここまで突っ込まない選択肢を選んじゃってるんだけど、例えば隠しておけないっていうのは責めてるよね、この人のことを。どうなんだろうな、わかんないな。とりあえず外科手術が助けになるかもしれませんね、しとこうか。ぐいぐい行った方がいいのかな。
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a
残
bloody
りの
mask
人
for
生
the
マス
rest
クを
of
つ
my
けて
life.
過ごしたく
I'd
ない。
rather
ここ
stay
にいて
here.
忘れられ
Just be
忘れられ
forgotten.
る方がいいんだ。ヒント取得に失敗。あ、しまった。こういうことがあるんだ。ぐいぐい行った方がいいのか。これってもう一回できるのかな。
Why lie about
I'd
it?
stay here. Just be forgotten.
ああ、一回ダメになったらダメなのか。ああ、これは選択肢じゃいい人で行こうってしちゃいけないかもしれないな。ははそうか、ちょっと考えなきゃいけないな。
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
うーん、失敗ということだね。ハウクロフトさんの病気について。
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft?
彼女が自分をヴァンパイアだと考えていることに
To wait
気
for
が
her
ついて
next
いる。
nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something
俺
tasty.
を何か美味しそうなものみたいな普通の人間として扱っ
Aren't
てい
you
る。
afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
頭
Her
の
head's
内側
broken
がぶっ壊れて
inside
る
is
し、
all. While I'm
俺は
busted
外
on
側
the
がダメになっ
outside,
てる。
but she's
でもあの
still
人は綺麗だ。
beautiful. Living
俺
proof
にもま
that
だ
there's
希望
hope
があ
for
る。
me.
生きた証拠なんだ。彼女にかませているんですか？彼女は精神を損なっている。かませているんですか？
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not?
いけません
She's
か？
only
彼
supping
女
a
は俺の
few
血を 2、
drops
3
of
滴
my
すすっ
blood.
ただけだ。そ
And
の
the
痛みは
pain,
本物だ。
it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
彼女は精神を損なっている。
You do realize she's mentally disturbed.
コタード症候群と呼ばれていて、彼女は本当に自分がヴァンパイアだと
In
信
her
じています。
madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join
彼
her
女の世
world.
界に入りたい。
It
現
seems
実より
much
ずっ
more
と
fun
楽し
than
そ
the
うです
real
から。
one.
長く勤めたんですか？
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. A daily routine.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
ウィリアム・ビショップの隠れ家に君がいたことについて。
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
君をさらったのはなぜ？
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
これ言っていいのかな？君は英雄かさもなければバカだ。
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
イーストエンドの港の状況は？
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
今のギャングのリーダーは？
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
ギャング君を脅している？
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long. You know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint. Not even criminals.
トム・ワッツについて。
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the
バーテン
Turtle.
ダー。
I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old
彼のよう
Tom.
な人
Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long
破壊
ago.
してしまっていたでしょう。堕落。
Who should I avoid in this part of town then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
絶望。
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice.
薬もない
Nothing.
助言もない。
It's a
何も
damn
ない
shame.
ひどい恥ですよ。何も得られなかった。お仕事は何を？
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and
ナイト
homeless
シェ
of
ル
the
ターを
docks.
運営していま
And
す。
I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
あなたは司祭ですか？
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
なぜウィリアムに十字架を向けなかったんですか？
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange
おか
question,
しな質
Doctor.
問なさるんです
A
ね。
cross
先
is
生
no
十字架
magical
は魔法
token.
の道具じゃあ
That's
り
what you
ま
were
せん。
trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
ここに来てから友達は？
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss
ハリエ
Harriet
ット・ジョーン
Jones.
ズさん。
I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
気分はどうですか？
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
つまり医学的
Medically
に
speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted.
症状を超えてますよ。実際ウィリアムは狂気で
William drank
私
so
の血を
much
た
of my
くさ
blood
ん
in
飲
his
み
madness. I
ま
feel
したから、とて
empty.
も空虚です。
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.